What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of It's Nostalgia. Continuing on with the LaserDisc of this edition of It's Nostalgia. Alright, this next video here, as I said in the last one, I had picked up a lot of LaserDisc and I've split them up into two videos, and of course an awesome audio pickup here for LaserDisc. Oh, and Nemesis is actually messaging me. Oh, we're talking about sci-fi movies. Be sure to check out Nemesis 3561's channels. Nemesis 3561 and of course Dead to Sights. Dead to Sights is dedicated to shooters, and Nemesis 3561 is dedicated to classic old school gaming. So be sure to check that out. Okay, first one I got here. This movie actually was the basis for, was used as kind of a basis for one of my favorite TV shows, and of course it's my grandfather's favorite TV show, and of course the Cemetery Gamer Thomas's favorite TV show. The TV show, of course, is Hogan's Heroes. I have the complete, the Commandant's collection of Hogan's Heroes, which is the complete series box set on DVD. So glad to have that. I can watch all the episodes anytime I want. I won't have to flip through a channel on cable to try to find them. I can watch them. So, but anyway, this movie here was the basis for Hogan's Heroes, and that movie, of course, is Stalag 17 on LaserDisc. First time I'd seen this, on TV. It was the first time I'd seen it. I actually watched it, and I liked the movie so much. Deals with World War II POWs in a German prison camp. So, thought this, when I first watched it, I liked it. I actually recorded it on VHS, and finally got a hold of it on LaserDisc, so that joins my collection. Okay. Next movie I got. I actually have this movie on VHS tape. I don't think I saw it. Never did watch it on DVD. I actually have the video game for this movie too. It hasn't held up well in age, and the video game, of course, Tomorrow Never Dies on the PlayStation 1. It hasn't held up well. I remember playing this game. I remember renting it and playing it, and then finally picked it up about a year or so back. But I wanted to get this movie on disc format, and I know it's cheap. I could go out and buy a DVD, but just for the collecting purposes, I went ahead and got it on LaserDisc. And as, of course, 007 Tomorrow Never Dies, starring Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. There's actually two versions of this movie. There is the Dolby Digital version, which I have right here, Dolby AC3 Digital, and then there's a DTS version of the movie as well. The DTS LaserDisc kind of go up in price. They're kind of pricey depending on the release of the movie, what movie it was. So I opted to get the Dolby Digital version of Tomorrow Never Dies, because it actually ran for a pretty good price. Alright, next movie I got. This was actually factory sealed when I picked this up. I was going through tapes one night. I was trying to find old family videotapes that we recorded when we were younger. I actually ran across one tape, and I think maybe what I'll do is I'll capture that tape, put it into my computer, into my editing computer here, and then maybe upload some clips. But anyway, this was on the tape, and I sat and I watched, and I forgot how great this movie was. So I went ahead and looked for it on LaserDisc. I found one copy of it on eBay on LaserDisc. It was factory sealed. And then, of course, Robot Wars on LaserDisc. This was factory sealed. I opened it, because you know what? In some instances, if it's a movie that is hard to get a hold of, and I want to watch it on LaserDisc, I'm going to open the dang thing. Like Ernest Goes to Camp is an example. That was one I got that was sealed. And I went ahead and opened it so I could watch it, because I hadn't watched that movie in a long time. And this next movie here I actually got is another example of that. I actually have this movie on VHS, and like mentioned, there are multiple versions of this movie on LaserDisc, depending on what you want. And I picked this one up. This was kind of a pricey LaserDisc, I will say. And as mentioned, DTS LaserDisc do go for a pretty price. And as, of course, picked up Apollo 13 on LaserDisc. This is the DTS digital surround version of Apollo 13, THX certified LaserDisc. Yep, got that. I could have picked up the other version, which would have been just a regular regular Dolby Surround stereo, non-AC3, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna pick up a DTS and see what it actually is like. And I'll explain how DTS also works on LaserDisc when I show off this next awesome thing that I have here. Okay, next movie I got. I actually watched this on TV. It was the first time I've actually seen this movie. And so I figured, you know, I'm going to look for it on LaserDisc, try to get a hold of it, see if I can find it for a good price. And of course there are, you know, 3 releases of this movie, of course, on LaserDisc. And that is, of course, Bridge on the River Kwai. Like I said, watch this on cable. I wanted to see what this movie was like. It actually has Alec Guinness in it, who is best known for playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars trilogy. As William Holden, who also played in Stalag 17. As best known, that I know him for, is playing Duncan in the Towering Inferno. So yep, got that. Okay. Alright, next 2 movies I got. Nemesis 3561 actually sent me these movies as part of the Aliens quadrilogy. He sent me his double Alien quadrilogy DVD box set, and these were part of a lot of Japanese LaserDisc movies. So I picked up that lot. There was 4 movies in the lot, and the first one, of course, is Alien 3 on LaserDisc, and has an insert in here. Has a chapter and cast insert in here. I actually updated the page on the LaserDisc database to correspond with this movie. A lot of movies I have here, I actually have updated their pages on the LaserDisc database to correspond with the information. Next movie I got is the Japanese release of Aliens. Nice. This is gatefold jacket, of course. This one has the OBI still with it. The other one didn't have the OBI. Okay, this next movie I got here, I actually have this movie on Blu-ray, and it's in DTS HD Master Audio on Blu-ray. And I know the Cemetery Gamer Thomas has this movie. He has the Dolby Digital. He has the THX Dolby Digital version of this movie. I was going to try to get the DTS version, but then I'd seen this one. For some reason, I don't like the cover on the American release one with the White House one up. It's just, I don't like it. So I went ahead and I looked, and this was part of that lot. And it's Independence Day on LaserDisc. This, of course, utilizes LDG, which is LaserDisc Graphics, which is a captioning for LaserDisc in Japan. And of course, this is THX certified, Dolby Digital. Has a flyer in here explaining Dolby Digital and what you need to decode the Dolby Digital off of LaserDisc. Yep, I actually like this picture better because this looks more like Ghostbusters. Looks like the scene in Ghostbusters when the ghosts are escaping out of the firehouse. Alright. Alright, next movie I got. Mr. Killerhorn actually has this movie on LaserDisc. He has this movie on LaserDisc. His is the DTS version on LaserDisc. But like I said, this was part of the line that is, of course, Crimson Tide on LaserDisc. This is the Dolby Digital THX version. Also utilizes LaserDisc graphics as well. Also has a flyer in here for Dolby Surround AC3 Digital in Japanese. Great to have this in my collection. Watch that. It wasn't a bad movie. It was pretty good. All right. Now these next 3 movies I've got here, these are rare and expensive on LaserDisc. These were the rare and expensive LaserDisc set that I paid for. And I have the first one on DVD, and then I bought a box set because they re-released the box set of these on DVD, and I picked that up for my dad as his Father's Day gift. And 2 and 3 on DVD actually jumped up in price, but now they've kind of dropped in price with the re-release. So, but when I seen they were on LaserDisc, I figured I'd pick them up. Now, of course, first one is Walking Tall, starring Joe Don Baker as Sheriff Buford Pusser. Got the first one. I got part 2 of Walking Tall, starring Bo Svensson as Buford Pusser. All these LaserDiscs, mind you, these were over $50 a piece. I'm gonna tell you that right now. These were pricey because they're rare to get a hold of. And of course, the final one final chapter of Walking Tall, starring Bo Svensson as Sheriff Buford Pusser, that completes the stories. And the odd thing about this one is, when I got this, I watched it. I flipped my LaserDisc player, actually flipped over to side B, because it's an automatic flip to where I don't have to manually flip the disc over. The player does automatically by flipping the laser assembly, as mentioned in other videos. But anyway, got to one part and it started skipping. It started stuttering, started skipping a little bit. When I got done watching it, I noticed it had scratch. It had deep scratch in it. I'd never seen a deep scratch on a LaserDisc before. So don't know what you'd have to do to get these resurfaced, but I'm just glad to have these in my collection. Alright guys, thanks for watching this, and stay tuned for the final part of this kind of 3-part It's Nostalgia LaserDisc edition. The third part I will explain the recent pickup that I have for my audio setup and how it works for LaserDisc movies. So thanks for watching guys. This is Bufferkid saying be cool and see ya.